The galaxy had always been full of voices. Thousands of civilizations, great and small, shared the stars. They built shining cities on worlds with blue skies, carved stations into cold asteroids, and sent fleets across the dark oceans of space. Some species had been old when Earth was still young, and their histories stretched back further than human memory could imagine. These elder races called themselves guardians of peace. They believed they understood balance, and they thought they had seen everything the galaxy could offer. Among them, humanity was young. Barely 3 centuries had passed since the first human colony ship leaped beyond the Sol system. To the others, Earth was not a threat, only a curiosity. The humans traded food, art, and clever machines. They sent explorers into the unknown, offering laughter and songs where others brought only politics. The Galactic Council often called them naive, fragile, and harmless. And yet, for reasons few could explain, humanity survived. Their colonies did not fall easily. Their merchants thrived. Their explorers returned from dangerous regions where even older species hesitated to go. Some aliens whispered that humans were reckless. Others said they were lucky. But no one believed they could shape the galaxy's fate. That belief was about to change. The warning came first as whispers. A distant sector reported strange disappearances. Merchant convoys went silent. Outposts stopped sending signals, and patrols vanished into the void. Soon after, survivors stumbled back with stories of fire and ruin. They spoke of fleets with black banners, ships that consumed whole stations, and soldiers who gave no mercy. The name of the threat spread quickly, the Ka'rel Dominion. They were not a new species, but one that had hidden in the shadows of the galaxy for centuries, gathering power in silence. Now, at last, they struck with terrible speed. When the Galactic Council gathered, tension filled the great chamber. It was a hall of ancient design, carved into the heart of a hollowed moon where starlight poured in through crystal walls. Leaders from across the galaxy floated, stood, or perched in their places, their voices layered in dozens of languages. High Chancellor Veyron, a long-lived elder of the Thryn, spoke first. His scaled body glittered under the light. The Dominion expands. Already 10 worlds are lost. If we do not unite our fleets, more will follow. Murmurs swept through the chamber. Some species agreed, demanding war. Others hesitated, fearing the cost. Many still believed the Dominion would not reach them. From one side of the hall, a small group remained silent. The humans. Their ambassador, a woman named Alara Mendez, listened with calm eyes. She was young by galactic standards, her dark hair tied neatly, her voice soft. Few looked to her, for humans were rarely loud in such meetings. They were expected to observe, not to lead. At last, a tall creature from the Veshta turned its many eyes toward her. "Ambassador Mendez," it said, its voice like grinding stone. "Your colonies lie near the edge of Dominion expansion. Do you ask for our protection?" The chamber grew quiet. Most expected the human to bow, to plead, to admit weakness. But Alara only folded her hands. "Humanity thanks the Council for its concern," she said carefully. "But for now we will manage our own defense." A ripple of confusion passed through the assembly. The humans had no fleets, or so everyone believed. Their ships were freighters, explorers, small patrol craft at best. What could they possibly do against a power like the Dominion? Chancellor Veyron narrowed his eyes. "Ambassador," he said slowly, "you must understand. The Dominion will not spare your people. You cannot hope to fight them alone." Alara inclined her head politely. "We understand the danger, but humanity is adaptable. We will endure." The conversation moved on, but unease lingered. The humans' calm reply did not fit the image most had of them. Weeks passed, and the Dominion struck again. A human colony on the rim, New Carthage, came under attack. News reached the Council quickly, and many prepared to mourn. But the mourning never came. A fleet of Dominion cruisers entered the system, expecting easy conquest. Instead, they met resistance. Not from ragged militias or desperate civilians, but from ships none had ever seen before. The battle lasted only hours. Survivors spoke of human vessels that moved with impossible precision, their hulls dark and sharp, their weapons striking with sudden bursts of light. Entire Dominion squadrons were torn apart, their wreckage burning against the colony's sky. When reports reached the Council chamber, disbelief filled the air. "This cannot be true," said one elder from the Renari. "Humans do not have warships of this class." "And yet they do," answered another, holding up data from the battle. These designs do not match anything in our archives. They are not freighters converted for war. These are purpose-built. Speculation spread like wildfire. How long had humanity been building such ships? Where had they hidden them? Why had no one noticed? But humans gave no answers. Ambassador Mendez only smiled when pressed. "Our colonies are safe," she said simply. "That is all that matters." Behind closed doors in secret meeting halls across the galaxy, leaders whispered, could it be that humans had deceived them? Could the harmless traitors have hidden strength all along? Some were afraid. A young species with such power might be unpredictable. Others were curious, even impressed. And a few, in the deepest corners of their minds, began to wonder if the galaxy's balance was shifting. The humans themselves spoke little. Their colonies carried on with daily life. Their ships traded goods, their explorers charted stars. To all appearances, they were the same. But every so often, somewhere on the edge of Dominion space, another hidden fleet emerged. Each time the result was the same. Swift, decisive human victory. The galaxy began to watch more closely. In a chamber of glass and stone, Chancellor Varen studied the latest reports. Images of massive human ships filled the screens, their weapons glowing, their movements precise. He felt unease stir within him. "This is not the work of a young race," he muttered. Beside him, an advisor spoke softly. "Perhaps they found old knowledge. There are ruins scattered across the stars, secrets of the first civilizations." Varen's eyes narrowed. "If that is true, then humanity has been hiding far more than warships." Thus the storm gathered. The Dominion still advanced, but no longer unchecked. And humanity, once dismissed as harmless, now stood in the center of every whisper, every council debate, every fearful thought. What else were they hiding? No one yet knew. But soon the galaxy would learn. The news of New Carthage spread like fire through dry grass. Every council world, every trade port, every wandering fleet repeated the same shocking words. The humans had warships. Not the small patrol craft they were known for. Not converted freighters carrying second-hand guns, but true warships. Purpose-built machines of war. And the strange part was this: no one had ever seen them before. At first, many doubted the reports. How could humans, a race so young, so dependent on trade with others, create ships strong enough to crush a Dominion fleet? Some said it was a trick. Others insisted another empire must have helped them. But then came more battles, more sightings. Each time the pattern was the same. Dominion cruisers leapt into a human system expecting easy victory, and each time they were torn apart by silent, precise, and unfamiliar ships. The galaxy began to whisper. Ambassador Ilara Mendez walked quietly through the long halls of the council station. Around her, voices buzzed. She heard her name spoken again and again, followed by hurried tones. Normally, humans passed unnoticed in these corridors. Today, all eyes followed her. A delegation of the insect-like Trellna stopped her near the crystal stairway. Their leader leaned close, his antennae twitching. "Ambassador," he hissed softly, "your people play a dangerous game. Warships of this power, they do not appear from nothing." Ilara smiled calmly. "Every people defends itself as best it can," she said. The Trellna narrowed their many eyes. "But you defend yourselves with ships that rival the first fleets of the ancients. Where did you find such knowledge?" She gave no answer. Instead, she bowed her head politely and walked on. Her silence spoke louder than any words. Meanwhile, on the human colony of New Carthage, life began to return to normal. The skies were still marked by wreckage. The ground still shook with the memory of battle, but the people rebuilt with steady hands. Children played in the streets again. Farmers returned to their fields. To the outside observer, it seemed as if humanity had shrugged off disaster with remarkable ease. But if one looked closer, the truth was stranger. Patrol ships moved in careful patterns above the colony, always watchful. Merchant freighters passed through, but each one carried hidden compartments, each one fitted with upgrades no one had seen before. Something larger was at work beneath the surface. A young officer named Captain Aaron Hale stood aboard one of the mysterious human warships, the Resolute. From its command deck, he watched the colony below. The ship hummed with quiet power, its engines old in design, yet sharper, faster, and stronger than anything known in the modern age. Aaron remembered the battle vividly. The Dominion ships had come with arrogance, their weapons burning bright, their numbers overwhelming. Yet the Resolute and her sisters had cut them down like hunters among prey. It had almost felt unfair. His crew worked silently around him. They were trained not in loud drills or grand speeches, but in quiet precision. Each officer moved with the confidence of someone who knew exactly what their ship could do, and what it was meant to do. Aaron had grown up hearing stories. Whispers of hidden shipyards, of projects kept in silence, of technologies drawn not from human invention alone but from something older, something buried deep in forgotten places of the galaxy. He had never asked too many questions. He only knew one truth. Humanity had prepared for this day for a very long time. The Dominion, however, was not blind. Their fleets, though wounded, were vast. They studied the losses, learned from their mistakes, and returned with greater numbers. Soon another human colony, this one called Meridian, faced invasion. Dozens of Dominion warships swept into orbit, surrounding the planet with fire. The people below braced for destruction, but again the humans were ready. This time not one fleet emerged from hiding, but 3. Dark, silent warships leapt from hyperspace, their formations tight, their weapons glowing with controlled energy. They fought with discipline that shocked even veteran Dominion commanders. Not one shot was wasted. Not one ship moved without purpose. When the smoke cleared, the Dominion's Grand Armada was gone, reduced to drifting wrecks. The planet's surface remained untouched. Humanity had defended its own again and once more, without help from the Council. Back on the Council world, confusion turned to alarm. "This is no accident," said Chancellor Varen, his scaled hand slamming the table. "These ships are not improvised. They are old designs, ancient designs. Humanity has been hiding them, building them in silence. But why?" asked another delegate. "They have always seemed so harmless. They wanted us to think that," Varen growled. While we sat here debating trade routes and old treaties, they were preparing for war. The chamber filled with worried voices. Some demanded an investigation. Others whispered about the possibility of secret alliances. But beneath the noise, one fear repeated again and again. If humans had hidden this strength, what else were they hiding? Ambassador Mendez, summoned to answer questions, stood calmly before the gathered council. "Your colonies are defended by fleets unseen in living memory," one alien accused. "How long have these ships existed?" "Long enough," Alara replied. "And how many more are there?" Another pressed. She gave the same soft smile as before. "Enough," the council chamber erupted. Delegates shouted, demanded details, threatened sanctions, but Alara never raised her voice. She let the storm pass over her like rain. When at last silence fell, she said only this: "Humanity does not seek war. But we will never again be caught unprepared. The Dominion may come for us. Others may doubt us. But we will endure. And if we must, we will fight. Not just for ourselves, but for the future of the galaxy." Her words carried a weight none could explain. Some said it was arrogance. Others said it was hope. But everyone felt the same unease. Humanity spoke with the certainty of those who knew more than they revealed. In quiet corners of the galaxy, smaller races began to take courage. If the humans could fight back, perhaps they too could resist. Fleets that had once fled at the sight of the Dominion now prepared defenses, inspired by human example. But among the great powers, suspicion deepened. They studied every movement of human ships, every trade route, every colony expansion. Their spies searched for hidden shipyards, their scholars compared human designs with ancient records. Slowly, a truth began to emerge. These warships were not entirely human in origin. Their shapes, their weapons, their energy signatures all bore echoes of something older, something from before the current civilizations ruled the stars. And yet the humans never explained. Captain Aaron Hale stood once more on the deck of the Resolute. The stars stretched before him, endless and cold. His crew moved with quiet discipline, their eyes on their tasks. "Do you think they suspect?" His first officer asked quietly. Aaron gave a small smile. "Of course they do. But suspicion is not proof, and even if they learn the truth, it will not matter." "What truth?" the officer pressed. "That humanity does not just build ships," Aaron said. His eyes were steady, his voice calm. "We carry a legacy, one that existed long before these empires rose. And when the time comes, the galaxy will see it in full." His words hung in the air like steel. Thus the whispers grew louder. The humans, once dismissed as harmless, now stood revealed as something more, stronger than expected, older in knowledge than they admitted, and far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. And yet, the galaxy had still seen only the beginning. The galaxy had reached a point where whispers were no longer enough. What humanity had shown at New Carthage and Meridian could not be ignored. The Dominion had lost fleets not once but several times, and each defeat had one thing in common: human warships that no one believed should exist. The Council worlds were restless. On stations, in markets, and on colony streets, rumors turned into conviction. Humanity was hiding something vast, something old. The Dominion strikes back. The Dominion, humiliated by repeated losses, gathered one of their largest armadas. Hundreds of ships, from swift raiders to massive carriers, converged on a single target: the human colony of Halcyon Prime. Halcyon was no ordinary world. It was rich in resources, its cities tall and strong, its people proud. But it lay deep in human territory, far from Council patrols. The Dominion believed they could crush it before any true resistance formed. When their fleet arrived, dark banners filling the stars, they expected fear. Instead, they found silence. At first, they saw only the colony's defense grid, modest platforms, a handful of freighters, nothing that could stop them. The Dominion commander, arrogant and confident, ordered the attack. That was when the humans revealed more. From the shadow of Halcyon's twin moons, ships emerged. Not a few patrol craft, not 3 fleets as at Meridian, but an entire armada. Hundreds of warships, their hulls black and gleaming, their engines burning with steady light. They moved as one, like a single living organism. The Dominion fleet hesitated. For the first time, they felt doubt. The battle that followed was unlike any the galaxy had seen in centuries. Human warships did not rush blindly. They advanced in layers, their lines precise. Every ship supported another, every strike covered by allies. Their weapons cut through Dominion shields with uncanny accuracy. Their defenses adapted quickly, as if they had fought this enemy 1,000 times before. Hours passed, then days. The Dominion threw everything forward, wave after wave of ships. Yet the human lines held. When the final Dominion carrier burned and fell into the planet's gravity, the battle was over. Halcyon stood untouched. Humanity had not only defended their world, they had destroyed one of the greatest fleets the Dominion had ever gathered. The galaxy watches. The council chamber shook with uproar when news arrived. Delegates shouted, argued, accused. "This is impossible," cried one. "Humans cannot have built this in secret. They have more ships than some ancient empires," shouted another. Ambassador Ilara Mendez stood calmly in the center of the storm. Her face was calm, her voice steady. "You ask how we survived," she said. "You ask why our fleets appear from nowhere. The answer is simple. Humanity prepares. Humanity remembers." The chamber demanded clarity, but she offered only pieces of truth. "We learned long ago," she continued, "that the galaxy is not safe. Empires rise and fall. Armies march and burn. We chose another path. We studied what others left behind. We built in silence. And when the day came, we were ready." The council froze. Those words, "studied what others left behind," hung heavy in the air. Secrets of the past behind closed doors. The truth began to emerge. Long ago, before the current empires ruled, there had been civilizations older still. Their ruins lay scattered across forgotten worlds, buried under ice or hidden in deserts. Most species treated them as history, as curiosities for scholars. But humans had not. Explorers, miners, and wanderers had found fragments, blueprints, machines, broken archives. Where others saw relics, humans saw lessons. Patiently, secretly, they rebuilt what they could. Slowly, over centuries, they pieced together technologies no one else remembered. Human engineers worked in silence, often in remote systems far from watchful eyes. They forged warships based on principles lost to time, mixing old knowledge with new invention. They did not share this with the Council, not because of pride, but because they feared what the galaxy might do with such power. Now that power had been revealed, and the galaxy could not ignore it. Divided reactions. The revelation split the Council. Some races were outraged. "They deceived us," cried the Renari delegate. "For centuries they sat among us, pretending weakness while building weapons that could shake the balance of power." Others, however, felt admiration. "Perhaps they did what we all should have done," said the Veshta speaker. "While we grew lazy, bound by tradition, humanity prepared for storms we refused to see." The smaller races, long bullied by stronger empires, whispered with hope. If humans could stand against the Dominion, perhaps they too had a chance. But beneath it all, a deeper fear took root. If humans had learned from the ruins of forgotten civilizations, what else had they discovered? The human perspective on Halcyon Prime, Captain Aaron Hale walked through the city streets after the battle. Citizens cheered the fleets, waving flags and singing songs. Children pointed at the sky, where wreckage still glowed faintly against the stars. To them, victory was simple. Humanity was strong, humanity was safe, but Aaron knew more. He had seen the ships with his own eyes. He had studied their systems, their weapons, their strange designs. He knew they were not fully human. They were something older, something borrowed and reshaped. Standing on a balcony, he spoke quietly to his first officer. "The Council suspects the truth," he said. The officer nodded. "Do we deny it?" Aaron shook his head. "We tell them nothing. Humanity is not ready to share." "Not yet. Why not?" "Because," Aaron said, his eyes on the stars, "the Dominion is not the only threat. There are shadows older than them, shadows that once destroyed those who built these ships. And if they return, humanity must be ready, whether the Council stands with us or not." The turning point as the weeks passed. The galaxy shifted. The Dominion licked its wounds, slower to strike, wary of human fleets. Other empires adjusted their policies, treating humanity with new caution. Some sought alliances, hoping to share in human protection. Others grew suspicious, fearful that Earth might one day turn its fleets against them. The humans themselves continued their quiet work. New shipyards activated in remote systems. Old designs were refined. New variations built. Their fleets grew larger, stronger, more disciplined. And yet they remained silent about their origins. They revealed only enough to protect their colonies, never enough to satisfy the Council's hunger for answers. The whispers of steel had become truths. The galaxy now knew humanity was no longer weak. But the first revelation had only scratched the surface. There were greater secrets still hidden in the dark. Closing scene on a distant, uncharted world, deep in the ruins of a forgotten city, human researchers moved carefully through shattered halls. Ancient symbols glowed faintly on the walls. Machines half buried in dust stirred as if sensing new life. At the center of the ruins lay something vast, a ship, older than any known design. Its hull fused into the stone as if it had slept for thousands of years. One researcher touched its surface and whispered, "This is only the beginning." Above them, in the night sky, a human fleet passed silently. Their shadows stretched long across the ruins, as if humanity itself stood hand in hand with civilizations long gone. The galaxy thought the humans had revealed their secrets. In truth, they had revealed only a fraction, and soon all would see what lay beyond. The great library of the Stellar Academy was always quiet, filled with tall shelves of glowing star charts and floating crystals that held records of thousands of civilizations. In that silence, a young alien scholar named Tirvac often worked late into the night. He was curious by nature, and curiosity was both his strength and his weakness. Tirvac belonged to the Zorani, a tall species with bright green eyes and smooth-scaled skin. The Zorani valued discipline, but Tirvac's restless mind always searched for mysteries. He believed that maps were not just tools, but also stories. Every new line drawn on a chart carried a tale of courage, exploration, or failure. On that particular evening, as the stars of 1,000 systems glittered inside a holographic globe before him, Tirvac noticed something unusual. The galactic map stretched wide, covering the spiral arms, showing the ancient colonies of the Arkelians, the trade hubs of the Vayari, and the wandering nomads of the Kaith. Yet, in one section, the line stopped suddenly, like water against a cliff. That region was marked with a name that Tirvac had read many times before: human space. At first, it looked ordinary. A cluster of stars, some known for trade, others for military outposts, and a few planets famous for rare minerals. But past that border, the map ended. No dotted lines of survey missions, no notations of failed colonies, not even warnings. It was as if the galaxy itself simply refused to exist beyond those stars. Tirvac frowned. "That cannot be right," he muttered softly. "Surely someone has gone farther." He turned the globe, searching for an explanation. Every other part of the galaxy was filled with records. Even dangerous black holes were carefully noted. But here, beyond human space, there was nothing. He leaned closer, tracing the boundary with one long finger. His heart beat faster. Why would the most advanced cartographers of the galaxy leave a blank so large, so obvious? Unable to resist, Tirvak called for his mentor. The old scholar, Master Relar, entered the chamber slowly, his staff tapping against the floor. Relar was wise, with gray patterns across his scales that showed his age. "What is troubling you, young one?" Relar asked, his voice calm. "Master, look here." Tirvak pointed at the globe. "The maps stop at human space. There are no expeditions, no routes, nothing." "Why is that?" Relar's eyes darkened. He studied the glowing globe for a long moment, then sighed. "You should not ask such questions, but why?" Tirvak pressed. "Is it forbidden? Or simply forgotten? It is not natural for a map to end so sharply." Relar tapped his staff once, a sign of warning. "Tirvak, you must understand. There are answers that bring only danger. The galaxy has learned through much pain not to push past that line." The young scholar tilted his head. "Are you saying the humans prevent exploration?" Relar shook his head slowly. "No, not exactly. It is not the humans themselves, but something connected to them. Long ago others tried. Fleets disappeared. Records were erased. No species repeats the attempt. The Council decided long ago. The map ends there and it will remain so." Tirvak's eyes widened. "But surely we are scientists, seekers of knowledge. How can we stop searching because of fear?" The old master's gaze grew stern. "Because sometimes fear is wisdom. You are young, Tirvak. You still believe that every mystery must be solved. But some mysteries keep us alive." The silence between them grew heavy. Tirvak felt his curiosity burn even stronger, like a flame trapped in a jar. He bowed his head to his mentor, but his mind refused to rest. Days passed, but Tirvak could not forget the empty space on the map. Each time he studied other regions, his eyes wandered back to that border. He imagined vast wonders waiting beyond. Uncharted planets, ancient ruins, perhaps even civilizations older than the Council itself. The thought that everyone simply chose not to look angered him. One night, unable to resist, he joined a gathering of students in the lower halls. They whispered about rumors, tales that the Academy never allowed in official lessons. A young Kaith with silver hair leaned forward and said, "I heard that ships sent past human space return burned, as if touched by fire that leaves no mark." A Vayari student added, "My uncle says the humans themselves know the truth. They pretend to be ordinary, but they guard secrets older than the stars." Others nodded, each offering stories, none with proof. Tirvak listened carefully. The more he heard, the more his determination grew. Later, walking alone beneath the Academy's towering crystal spires, Tirvak looked up at the stars. He whispered to himself, "If the humans hide something, I will find it. If the galaxy fears something, I must see it with my own eyes." In human space, far from the Academy, life seemed peaceful. Traders moved between planets, carrying goods and news. Human diplomats sat quietly in council chambers, rarely speaking, never boasting. They were not the strongest species, not the richest, not the most advanced, and yet their borders were respected by all. No one questioned why, but Tirvak questioned. One evening, while studying reports of trade convoys, he noticed a human name that appeared again and again: Commander Elias Kane. A pilot, a leader of small missions known for calm judgment and precise skills. Tirvak wondered if Kane knew the truth. Perhaps he had seen the edge. The young scholar made a choice that night. He would not remain in the Academy trapped by silence. He would seek the humans directly. If no one else dared ask, he would. He packed his belongings carefully, taking only his data crystals, his star charts, and a small pendant from his family. Standing one last time before the great globe of the galaxy, he touched the empty edge beyond human space. "The map stops here," he said softly, "but not for me." Meanwhile, across the stars, Commander Elias Kane guided his ship through quiet patrol near the human border. His crew trusted him, though they often wondered why he always kept one eye fixed on the void beyond. Kane never explained. One officer once asked, "Sir, why do our maps end here?" "What lies beyond?" Kane gave no answer. He only stared at the darkness as if listening to a voice no one else could hear. And so, two paths began to move toward each other. The restless scholar seeking forbidden truth, and the quiet human carrying unspoken knowledge. The galaxy may have been content with silence, but Tirvak was not. His journey into mystery had begun, and the map with missing pieces would soon reveal secrets no one was prepared to face. The galaxy had begun to look at humanity differently. No longer the naive traders or explorers of old. Humans now commanded respect, suspicion, and curiosity all at once. Yet even as councils debated, fleets repositioned, and spies searched for hidden shipyards, humanity held a calm confidence. They were not afraid. They had prepared for this. The ancient truth deep within human space on the remote research station of Nova Horizon, Ilara Mendez walked among scholars, engineers, and historians. Here in secrecy, the story of humanity's preparation was quietly told. Centuries ago, long before any of the current empires rose to prominence, explorers on Earth had discovered ruins scattered across the solar system and beyond. Tombs of ships that drifted in asteroid belts, libraries of metal and crystal buried beneath frozen moons, and devices etched with symbols from civilizations older than memory. Humanity had studied these ruins carefully. Unlike other species, they did not exploit them for wealth or glory. They learned. They built, rebuilt, and advanced quietly. "We are the inheritors of knowledge," Ilara said softly, addressing a small assembly of humans and trusted allies. Not to dominate, not to boast, but to survive. To prepare for what others cannot even imagine. Her words carried weight. Every human present knew the truth. They were standing on the shoulders of civilizations older than the galaxy's ruling powers. The Council reacts. The Galactic Council had demanded answers. Each species wanted to know how humans had built fleets without notice. Why they had kept their power hidden. Ilara had explained carefully. "We found what the first civilizations left behind. We studied, we tested, we rebuilt. We did not tell the galaxy because knowledge alone is dangerous. Power without patience destroys." Many delegates were shocked. "First civilizations?" one elder asked. "You mean, before even the Council's oldest empires?" "Yes," Ilara replied. "Long before anyone remembers, civilizations rose and fell. Their technology was beyond our understanding. They left clues, not instructions. Humanity interpreted them. Some council members frowned, others whispered among themselves. It was one thing to see human ships on the battlefield. It was another to realize humans had tapped into knowledge older than the oldest empires. And with that revelation came a new fear. If humans could do this, what else were they capable of? Shadows in the stars, the Dominion, defeated but unbroken, watched carefully. Their fleets regrouped at the edge of human space. They knew one thing: they had underestimated humanity. Again and again their assumptions had been shattered. Yet even as they planned their next attack, humans remained ahead. Patrols extended across previously unexplored sectors. Hidden shipyards activated quietly. Research continued in secret labs built on moons and asteroids. Captain Aaron Hale oversaw one of these operations. The Resolute hovered above a mining station, where ancient machines were carefully dismantled and studied. Engineers worked tirelessly, reverse engineering technologies that even the galaxy's oldest empires had never seen. "This equipment is unstable," one engineer said nervously. Pointing to a glowing device, Aaron nodded. "Handle it carefully. Every piece of knowledge could save lives or destroy them. That's why we study it before anyone else does." His crew understood. Humanity had chosen the difficult path. They did not seize power recklessly. They prepared, and in preparation, they found strength that few could imagine. The first test, the Dominion's return, came faster than expected. This time they attacked a human convoy moving near the edge of human space. The fleet was small, carrying supplies for distant colonies, and the Dominion assumed it would be easy prey. But humanity was ready. From hidden hyperspace corridors, multiple fleets appeared, encircling the Dominion ships before they realized the trap. Energy beams cut through the void, destroying cruisers and interceptors with precise timing. Human ships moved like dancers, each step coordinated, each strike measured. When the battle ended, the Dominion had lost another third of its fleet. Yet still they were not defeated entirely. They retreated, licking their wounds, wondering how a species they once dismissed as weak could fight with such mastery. The galaxy watched in awe. Reports reached Council worlds quickly. For the first time, humans were no longer just participants. They were teachers, examples, a force to be reckoned with. A lesson in patience. Back at Nova Horizon, Ilara and her advisors studied the reports. Each battle confirmed what they already knew. Human fleets could not only defend themselves, they could outthink and outmaneuver opponents who considered themselves centuries ahead. Patience is our greatest weapon, Alara said, pointing to a holographic map of the galaxy. We do not strike first. We do not seek glory. We prepare and we wait for the right moment. Her advisors nodded. They understood the strategy. The galaxy had grown complacent. Most civilizations relied on treaties, power, or fear to maintain balance. Humanity relied on preparation, knowledge, and adaptability. And that was a different kind of power. A new understanding across the council chamber, reactions varied. Some empires recognized the wisdom of humanity's approach. The younger races, often marginalized or oppressed, saw hope. If a small, underestimated species could rise through study and patience, perhaps they too could claim a place among the stars. But older civilizations, proud of their ancient fleets and traditions, could not accept it so easily. They saw humans as a threat, a rising power that had broken the rules, learned the secrets of the past, and now moved unseen, gathering strength. Even so, none could deny one truth. The humans had changed the balance of power. A quiet revelation, Captain Aaron Hale stood once more aboard the Resolute, looking out at the stars. The galaxy had begun to see humans as strong, but they still did not understand the full story. The warships, the fleets, the battles, these were only tools. The real strength lay in something older, something harder to measure. Humanity had learned from the civilizations before the current empires. They had studied their mistakes, their successes, their technologies, and in that knowledge, humanity had found the ability to endure, adapt, and triumph where others failed. This is only the beginning, Aaron said quietly to his first officer. We've revealed enough to show we are not weak. But the galaxy does not yet know the full story. Do we ever tell them? Asked the officer. Aaron shook his head. Not yet. They would not understand, and some knowledge is too dangerous to share until the right moment. Humanity must lead carefully. Humanity must survive first. The hidden legacy far from the council in the quiet darkness of space, the ancient ruins of forgotten civilizations waited. Human teams explored these places, uncovering machines, ships, and archives that had slept for millennia. Each discovery added to their understanding, to the strength of their fleets, to the knowledge that one day might decide the fate of the galaxy. And yet humans worked silently. They built, studied, and refined, always careful not to reveal too much. Other civilizations saw the battles, saw the fleets, and assumed they knew everything. They did not. Humanity had learned to hide in plain sight. Preparing for the future as weeks turned into months, the Dominion remained at the edges of human space, cautious, wary of another defeat. Humans, meanwhile, continued their preparations. Shipyards and hidden sectors expanded. Training programs for pilots and engineers grew more rigorous. Every colony, every fleet, every station became part of a network of readiness. Humanity was no longer just a young race. They were a civilization shaped by knowledge, patience, and foresight. They had learned from those who came before, and they would use that knowledge to shape the galaxy in ways others could only imagine. The Council, the Dominion, and the older empires could see their fleets. They could witness their victories. But the true legacy of humanity, the lessons from the civilizations before the current empires, remained hidden, and it would remain hidden until the time was right. Closing scene. In the depths of a forgotten asteroid field, engineers activated a massive device unearthed from ancient ruins. Energy pulsed through its circuits, glowing faintly against the darkness. Captain Aaron Hale watched silently from his ship, observing the new technology being integrated into human fleets. This is only the start, he said quietly. One day the galaxy will know what humans can do. One day the past will guide the future, and humanity will stand ready, stronger than anyone imagined, built from the knowledge of civilizations before civilizations. Above him, the stars stretched endlessly. The fleets moved silently, ready for the challenges ahead. Humanity had revealed some of their power, but the greater secret still waited in the shadows, prepared for the moment when they would be needed most. The galaxy had begun to see humans as powerful, but it had not yet seen the full truth.